I'm Jim, and this is the next episode of the Cortina build. So I want to carry on from where I finished off in the last episode, and that is starting by fitting the door glass. Now, I finished the last episode with the quarter light glass fitted, but what I need to do is actually remove that, because the main door glass needs to go in before we do the quarter glass, but it has to happen all at the same time. So I'll fit the trim that the door glass moves up and down on, remove the quarter glass, and then jimmy the window in, and then it all comes together right at the last second. It's a bit of a shuffle, it'll make sense, and I'll show you how it's done now. Next one is the glass, so it'll go in this way around. I have to hook that into the window winder, and then get the edges in the seal. Get that in position, and then we go on with these, which go on the door. They seal like so. They're like draft excluders. They used to get on the underside of old doors. Anyway, once they're in, it'll be quarter light glass in. Push that back round, that bar back round, down and fitted, and that should be it. So let's go. So this is the seam seal that goes in the window channel. It's like a felt material, so it's hard to film because it actually absorbs quite a bit of light. Now it's folded together and stuffed into this channel. Just thought I'd show you. Look at it. So we've got actual working glass. Well, not that it can't work, I mean you can look through it. And I've even fitted the old door mirror. Well, again, not even old, it's new. It's been in a box for years, waiting to come on. And obviously I've got to clean that wax off the door. But obviously now this side is done, we need to do the other side. And to do that, normally I would drive it out, but because of the complications of me, I will be pushing it. So I'm going to try and utch the car over towards this side of the garage, but I think because it's quite a nice day, I'm going to push it out a bit and get the driver's side done, and then see how we're doing for time. So yeah, let's go on with it. So the glass is all in now, and the mirrors are on, and I'm pretty happy. We are looking more like this is a car. So I've nipped out, decided to have a bit of a break from work. This isn't a cup of tea. I've got the floor bungs to do, and they're pretty tight, so I've put them in hot water to make them a bit more supple. So the idea now, I'll put that down very carefully. I'll show you what I mean. Various drain holes dotted around the floor, which needs cleaning yet again. And the idea is to get as many of these plugged as I can. So the larger ones I've got in the cup right now. The smaller ones, I've got some universal grommets which will fill those gaps. So hopefully we're one step closer to having a watertight car. So I better get on with it. Right, so this is the size bung for this hole. And it's, sorry, I'll do this as quick as I can. Right, so that's it fitted. Problem is this is quite a soft rubber and I can quite easily push that through that hole. There you go, no effort at all. Which is a bit worrying considering the job that this has got to do. So what I have done is drilled out these holes to the next size up. It's a firmer rubber and we don't have that problem. So I'm going to drill all the other holes and get these fitted. So going up from a 9.5 to 12, which is half an inch. So I'll get that done now. So why is the loom out? Now this is the dash loom on its own, and I need to look at the white wiring on this, which is all the switch lives, because something I believe that is what's causing me the problem. But the more I look at how I've laid this loom out, which is not far off factory, I think the biggest issue really is the fuse box and relay, which ends up with this weird loop in it, which I'm not very happy about. So I'm going to, or I am looking at how I can do this differently. But for the moment I need to unwrap this and get it held in a way that I know where everything should be positioned and take another look at it. But I've got some ideas, because I might as well talk about it now. So one of the major issues we've got is this fuse box only has 2 spare fuses, and we've got the main lights and the other 2 relays for the fuel and the fuel pump and coolant fan. And what's worrying, sorry, I've only got 1. Oh no, 2 spare fuses. All the accessories, so that is the wipers, the let me think, wipers, radio, heater, 12-volt socket, which is all powered by this main white wire, are covered by 1 fuse. So that's not ideal. And if I need to add any more relays in, so should I decide to put a reverse light on or spotlights or anything really, I can't do that. So what I've been looking at is a slightly different fuse and relay box with more relays, more fuses, breaking up this accessory into what they should be, so 1 for wipers and the heater and all that business. The side lights are split front and rear. There's nothing on there. Oh no, I suppose actually the hazards are wired off that, so that's not too bad. But the indicator relay is here. What I'd like to do is actually bring it over to everything else so it's all in one spot. Have it wide so everything goes in and out at one point, so I'm not creating this loop. and also, like I say, incorporating a few extra relays and possibly a bus bar, or 2 bus bars, one for battery live and one for switch live. So the point behind that, certainly for the switch live, is that because this white wiring actually it's a Ford cut, it's how Ford do it. I've just tapped into it for a few bits and made repairs on it. It goes from here, it powers the let me think, it does all your ignition, so the coil, which is part of the problem, and the heater, and like I say, all your accessories, but it's all white. And it all comes off the second click of the ignition switch. So I think I'm going to take a single source from that to a bus bar and then power from that, so that way I've got less connections on one wire, so we're not fusing 2 wires into one wire, which there's quite a few of those connections, or basically spurring off. So it's a lot easier to do it from a bus bar than it is off the wire, because the more connections you put in, the more likely it is to fail. So that's my intention with it. The other thing I want to get rid of is this switch. It's a bit pointless and I've never really liked it. This allows you to turn off the lights on the dashboard, so all your dial lights at night when you've got your lights on. So that one's fairly straightforward because it just comes off this red wire for the headlight switch. But that's mainly it. Like I say, it's not really a 5-minute fix. I'm working on some stuff in the background, so I can actually talk about it a bit more in depth in the next week or two. I think I'm going to strip it and support it and go from there. The boot seals come off. Clearly the glue I used wasn't very good. It started to come off and then it was just easy to take the rest of it off rather than fix it. But it's left a little bit of residue, which I need to get rid of. So I'm going to do that now, and then I'll use the same adhesive that I used for the head lining, because that seems to stick to the body quite nicely. That is pretty bad. I'm really happy with where I've got to with the car this week. Having the glass in and the mirrors on makes it look pretty much like a car. I mean, I know it sounds daft, but when it's had the glass off, and you can see through the car, and obviously it just looks like a project. I know it is. It's, you know, still a long way to go, but having the glass in kind of makes it look a bit more car-like, which I'm really happy about. The boot lid, I can't get that glue off by trying to scrape it, so I think I'm going to have to take the boot lid off and look at possibly wire brushing the area where the seal was and repainting the inner, which is a bit of a shame, but it kind of works with something else I've got, because finally these came up and I've got some proper C-pillar trim pieces. I was fortunate enough to get hold of some of the earlier ones, which are for what you call the pre-airflow, which are chrome, but they fit. They just don't look right on an airflow because you've got that piece in the that chrome trim. And these are the right ones because they're body colour. Well, they will be when I paint them, so obviously there's a method to wanting, might as well repaint the boot, paint these at the same time, make a little bit extra, because I noticed when I was putting some of those dividers in for the quarter light and the door window, is that I've chipped it a couple of places so I can try and brush some paint in there and blend it in, and you won't know it's happened. So I hope you found it interesting, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, because that would mean a lot to me, and I will see you in the next episode when I'm hoping to be making a start on the wiring and also the inlet and exhaust leak. See you soon.